One.
Communications data. Blast off with Nihilist today.
Hey, Blog, how's it going?
I'm doing fine, Bram. Thanks. You?
I'm doing good. Welcome, everyone, to Coding with Nihilist. So on this live stream, we talk about different APIs. We do focus on the Nihilist APIs, the communication APIs. As well, we look at building with different programming languages and looking at all the different tools that are out there to build better products, including Nihilist.
Cool. So what are we talking about today?
Today, we're going to talk about how to build Inbox Zero functionality.
Oh, that's nice.
And what's that?
It's always helpful.
I don't know. I was going to ask, I don't know if you want to say the number, how many emails you have in your inbox that you haven't gone through, but I'm assuming it's a large amount.
And actually, I always have it at 0.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I really don't like when I see people like they post an image of their cell phones and it has like 1,000 emails.
Gotcha.
No, it's always 0.
Okay, so I guess you're probably the perfect audience for this. I was gonna say I'm the opposite because I normally focus on Slack. So
Okay.
at some point I've just kind of haven't kept up with my email. So I'm probably not the best person, but I'm excited to walk us through this. That's for sure.
Yeah, totally.
So we'll talk a bit about what Inbox Zero is. I know the definitions vary, but we'll look at one example or definition that I've seen online from Google. And as well, we will go through a demo. And so what I've started doing is starting to piece together some sort of way that we can gamify or create a game to get people to Inbox Zero.
That's nice.
Yeah, so before we jump in, let's talk about what is Inbox Zero. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to actually use the interwebs to describe this. So I'm going to share my screen. And I want to go through Google's definition of what Inbox Zero is. Mm-hmm. So here they kind of describe Inbox Zero. So to practice Inbox Zero, create an inbox for each of these labels. So these are the 3 labels that they focus on. They focus on action, follow-up, and later. And this is kind of what we're going to do. We're going to go through and take a look at our emails and see how we can assign these different labels as a starting point of working towards Inbox Zero.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so let's jump in and take a look at a demo. I think Blog, I was showing you this earlier, and you were quite interested with the UI. So I'll walk us through the UI before we actually look at using or working with the actual code. But the idea is you would get only one email at a time, and you would have to decide, do you want to do this later? Do you want to follow up, or do you want it to be an action? And to gamify it, we're just going to use the arrow keys. So you can do left for later, up for follow up, and then right for action.
That's nice.
And
so let's use the keyboard then.
Yeah, so you can quickly go through, assign the different labels, and then you can update the label fields in your actual inbox. And for now, I'm just grabbing 5 emails, but you could do it in different sets. Like you could grab the emails for the past day or emails that don't have labels on them, and you can go through and assign labels to them. So here, for example, I think this is a list of contacts, and I'm going to go assign this to later. Mm-hmm. And then here it's getting started with Figma. So this is going to be an action for me to go ahead and join Figma. So let me put that as an action. And this is from Clockwise. So Clockwise is a tool that integrates with our calendar to recommend meeting invites. So for now, I'm just going to do later for this. I'll take a look at this later. And here we have a message that's been sent to one of our email groups. So I'm just going to go through an action on this. And here we have Learning with SEMrush. So this is just some content, educational material. I'm going to put this as later as well. So once we've gone through those 5 emails, now we see all the labels that have been selected for them.
Yeah.
So what I would like to do is I do want to animate the actual moving of the card. So when you click left, it moves to the left, or you click up, it moves up. It just disappears. Mm-hmm. And at the end, you have a list or a summary of all the actions that you want to actually apply to those emails. And from here, you would go ahead and click Update Labels. Mm-hmm. And I'll show the code for this. But the idea is what would happen is your inbox would be updated with these specific emails that have those applied labels. So here we have action, we have follow-up, and we have later.
Mhm.
So all those emails have been assigned to those labels.
So you do kind of like the assignment on the UI, and then you do the synchronization to your inbox, right?
Yep, exactly.
Cool.
So we'll take a look at code to do that. And what we're basically doing is taking these labels that exist or creating new ones and then assigning the emails to those labels.
Perfect.
Awesome. So let's jump in and take a look at the code. But before we do that, we do this show twice a week. We're always pumped to do this show, come up with new content, talk about building with Nihilus or building with various technologies that are out there. And we would love for you to like and subscribe either on LinkedIn or YouTube. And just follow up, provide any feedback so we can see what type of content you'd love to see going forward.
Yeah, but just let us know. Try to engage with us. Was always willing to get to meet more people and get more ideas for the show.
Awesome. So let's jump in and do a code walkthrough next. So we're going to jump in and take a look at the code. And the first place I wanted to take a look at is just kind of show some of the functionality on the front end before we jump into the back end. So inside of the actual email app, we have a function called handle key down. And what this is doing is for pressing the up arrow, the left, and the right arrow, we're just assigning the different labels. So these are the labels from our actual inbox, and I've just statically assigned them for now, but you can actually grab them and put them inside the application or dynamically change them based off of the different users. So for this label, I have follow-up, and this is the ID. And then for the left, I have later with a specific label ID. And as well for the right, I have action, which is going to have this label ID. So these label IDs need to be appended to that message. And what we're doing to start is in the actual email list, if I scroll down to the actual component, for now, we're just displaying one email at a time. So we're just taking one email, just popping off one email at a time until that array goes to 0. So that means we've essentially gone through all of our inbox, we've assigned a label, and now we only have updated emails with the updated labels.
Cool.
So we're just going to show one email at a time. And there are different ways you can gamify this. Maybe you set a timer for it, or you can just kind of set some music so that it just kind of, you have to go through it really quickly. But those are things that I definitely want to look into after the live stream.
Yeah, totally. So let's say you don't check your email for a while, for like 30 minutes, something like that, then you got 4 emails. So when you go back to your app, you're going to have those 4, but it's going to be just one by one until you assign them to the correct labels. That's
So you can only do one email at a time. And I think this is very different from most inboxes where you get to see all your emails at once.
Yeah, exactly.
So here you're forced to focus on that email and then decide what you want to do with it.
Yeah, which is better, right? Sometimes if you have like 10, you just go like, okay, I'm gonna delete everything or something like that. But if you focus on just one, it's easier to take action.
Yeah. And from here, what we're doing is we're actually going to make a call to the backend. And I just want to show what that call looks like. So we're doing, I think it's update labels. I want to show on our front end what that looks like first. And all we're doing here is we're just passing along. Let me take out the debugging syntax I have here. We're just updating the message labels. So we're calling the backend, which is our own backend. That'll show. And this backend is going to call the Nihilus API. And at this endpoint update labels, we're just posting all the updated emails and the updated label information. So we're just sending along the updated emails to the backend.
Perfect.
So let's go to the backend and take a look at this route. So for this route, we have the function update labels. So what it's going to do is it's going to take the emails that we send. It's going to call, grab all the different messages, make sure they exist. So we want to call all the messages, make sure they exist, and then we're going to apply the label to them. We have to find the label before we can actually push the label onto the message, and then we're going to save that message. This way we go through all the emails, we grab the messages to make sure they exist. We apply the label, and then we save the message. So this is how we can append messages or append labels to our different messages.
Cool.
And I wanted to show just kind of how we went through this, or just in the docs where this exists. So all this is built out using the actual Nihilus SDK. So we're using one of the Nihilus SDKs. In this case, we're using Node. We do have SDKs for Ruby, Node, Python, and Java.
Yep.
And let's take a look at the docs very quickly. So inside the docs, we do have like a getting started guide and using the email API. But we can also just search through the docs. So if we want to go through and search for message labels. So here we have using the email API, and you can search for to add a label.
Mm-hmm.
Here's an example of adding a label. So we're actually appending a label to a specific message. And you can append multiple labels at once as well. So if you want to classify or add more classification or more labels, you can go ahead and do that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly.
And one thing I wanted to point out, and this is something that we've added recently, is we have a feedback form on the actual docs. So this is where you can actually give any input, whether you found this page useful, if you think there's anything that you think could be improved. For example, here I found this page useful, and I can also provide feedback.
Mm-hmm.
So any opportunity you're working through the docs and you want to provide feedback, go ahead and jump in and just kind of fill out that form, and we'll get immediate feedback on ways that we can improve the docs for you.
Yeah, please go jump ahead at developers.nihilus.com when you have our documentation. So just let us know, what do you think? If you think it's useful, not so much. If there's anything we can improve, just let us know, please.
Yeah, totally. And we're going to share all the code samples on our github.com/Nihilus-samples repo. So we have, I think we're getting close to 100 code samples. So we may have to go back and clean up some of them or consolidate a few of them, but definitely go on there to check out our latest code samples from this live stream, and as well from any past live streams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And yeah, don't forget that we have live streams every Wednesday and Friday at 11 a.m. EST, 8 a.m. PST. So twice a week, you're going to see us.
Awesome. And I do want to actually show our blog as well, because I know we've been putting out some awesome topic on our blog lately. And let me just share my screen so you can have a look. So I know blog, actually, there we go. So I know blog, you've been putting out quite a bit of content on our blog. Recently, we've had some content related to doing email templates with React. And as well, I know blog, you built out some dashboards using Python and Shiny.
Mm-hmm.
So we have quite a bit of topics coming out on our blog. So in different languages, different tools. So I know in the past, blog's done a blog post on Fig workflows. So feel free to take a look at our blog if you're looking for more content or just more ways you can actually build with Nihilus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have tons of blogs. So there's a lot of, reading material there.
Awesome. And what's coming up next, blog?
So on Wednesday, we're going to talk about debugging your Ruby code with pry and buyback. So many people might know pry. Buyback, probably they not know. So it's going to be interesting.
That's awesome. That should be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. That's it for this live stream.
Yeah, thanks, Ran. As always, great topic, great explanation, and looking forward to see all the animations and all the wacky stuff you can do.
Yeah, that's going to be the next thing I do. So I'll try to make sure I post that online soon.
Awesome.
Thanks, everyone. See you.
Yep. Bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye.
See you.